continue.
So what I want to tell you is that this is what happens when you really hit a sales environment. Everything is going to be dynamic. So the presence of mind becomes very important for a sales warrior. You got to keep calm. So I think I have covered all the points here. We can go for the next slide. So this talks more or less about deception, but I won't call this deception. It is, you got to plan to hit where you are least expected, and you have to hit it hard. So this is the philosophy of war. What I'm trying to tell you, that let your plans be dark, and this I think earlier also I covered. Attack him where he is unprepared, appear where you are not expected. So when you are actually taking on to your enemy, you have to be hitting him where he doesn't expect you. And for that, you have to take the really the hardest route. If you have seen this movie Lakshya, which is one of the operations in the entire Kargil war, where our warriors took a route which was uh, not even expected because it is inscalable. But our trained soldiers have scaled 18,000 and above feet where oxygen is depleted, and they took the enemy by surprise. So the next slide, I have a video for you. Basically, it is Balakot airstrikes. So I don't think we need to go through the video. If you look at this airstrikes, what I'm going to tell you here is it is also a similar operation like the surgical strike, but it is unprecedented because we have crossed an international border and hit a terrorist camp in Pakistan. So India conducted a preemptive strike on Jaish camp in Pakistan. So even they just didn't expect an airstrike because we had a surgical strike earlier. They were predicting something like that, but this time it was totally taken by surprise. It was well planned. We had this principle of war that we have hit them where they least expected. They didn't prepare, and they were thoroughly pinned down. So it is a huge moral victory for the country. So what lessons we can draw from this? Since these are recent, I'm sure most of you would relate to this. That's how I have brought in the recent incidents. Can we go to the next slide, Prakash? So what I would like to, I have searched for an image online for sales. How do we do this? So there is an intended strategy, there is a deliberate strategy, and there is an emergent strategy. So what I would say, this emergent strategies are those which are made to hit to customers. We need to capture large portion of customers where your competitors are taken by surprise. So if you look at what a sales warrior needs to do for these is go in for a thorough competitor analysis and understand the pain points of customer. So out of these two, you need to identify what are the weak links. The moment you need to know the weak links, before somebody takes the advantage, you have to show your velocity. Velocity, I'm sure most of us would understand, it is a combination of two words, speed and direction. You have to have that speed and the right direction to build a sales playbook, or you need to execute your strategy. You need to have that speed and direction. The most important thing here is direction. So when you are taking this kind of policies or philosophies, you need to be really bold and confident, because if they fail, there's going to be a lot of damage. So as a leadership position, though this is a good strategy to understand and have a bold plan in place, but you should also have a damage control mechanism. And in most of this management jargon, it is the risk management. All right. So We'll now move on to the, I think, fourth one. So here what I would like to say is you have to be first. Whoever is first in the field awaits the coming of enemy will be fresh for fight. Whoever is second in the field and has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted. So what they say, anyone arriving first into the market or arriving first with a strategy, innovative strategy, you got to build in something innovative which is done for the first time, whether it is a product, whether it is a service, whether it is your strategy. You got to be first to have that advantage. So if you go to the next slide, Prakash, I have depicted an image. Basically, this is talking about 1984 when we captured the Siachen. Siachen was unoccupied. If you all know, Siachen is the highest battlefield in the world, occupied by two countries, India and Pakistan. We had planned this in 1983. We have sent an Antarctica expedition, trained our people in a cold living. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jaram, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me,
Yes, yes.
Prakash?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello,
Can anyone else
am I
confirm?
audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Jaram, you are
Hello.
audible. Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we are prepared so well that we have sent a team to Antarctica, trained them before launching them into Siachen Glacier, which is supposed to be the highest battlefield in the world. So how did we, get advantages? We brought some kind of extreme winter clothing, which can bear this, minus 40 degrees centigrades and all. So even Pakistan approached the same supplier in London. So since we had more volumes, he informed us that they are also going for it. So we took the advantage and we were the first to reach there and they were taken by surprise. Since we were in place, so we could dislodge them. So if you see the lessons that you can draw from being first in the market, Prakash, can we go to the next? So there is always a dilemma that whether we go first to the market or we go first to the customer. I think both has merits. So I always say it is first advantage. So first advantage can be your own product or your own strategy. So something has to be first. Otherwise, a large portion of your market share is already exhausted. So how do you, rebuild it to your product or service? So you got to be either first in the market or innovative in your strategy. So something first has to be done. So you need to build leads, make prospects. Don't wait. There are times when people keep waiting that I will wait for the right time or I will strategize. I will wait for the customer, to be comfortable and all. If you need to do a sale, you need to be, in hurry always, and you need to be in hurry always. Time is always right. Then time is never wrong. Time is always right, and there is no point crying after the milk is spilled. This is how the Fauji's look at it, and that is how we bring it to sales. That when you are telling I have gone to a customer, sir, he's already gone to somebody else. There is no point crying. The game is over. So you need to be attentive to how the environment is moving, how the competitors are moving, how we are moving, and you should always keep the advantage of being first. So if there is a customer, if there is a lead coming, don't hesitate, don't wait, don't compile, don't make reports. First is contact the lead, maintain the first contact. if you are the first one to contact, you always have an advantage over anybody else. So be first. Can we go to the next one, Prakash? This is the most important one. I mean, without this, there is nothing. You win it in your mind. So, as they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. I hope most of you would have read this during these Corona times. A lot of people keep popping these motivational quotes. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So, you have to play it in your mind. And our war philosopher Sun Tzu says that every battle is won before it is fought. So when you go to the war, you already know whether you will win or you will lose. So be prepared in your mind. It is all in the mind and not in the field. So I will just explain this photograph, though I have a video also. The photograph is about, this is the Maldives situation. In 1988, there were rebels in Maldives backed up by Tamil Elam from Sri Lanka. They have revolted against the sitting president. Sitting president approached about 10 odd countries. No one supported them. London, UK was in a way trying to help them, but by the time they would have reached, the coup would have happened. They've informed India. Unfortunately, Rajiv Gandhi was in the then Prime Minister was in a visit between Calcutta and Delhi. He was in air, so he couldn't be contacted. And by the time he was informed, it was already 2 3 hours into the coup, and we had 6 hours of preparation. Our para commandos prepared and they launched themselves in Maldives within 6 hours. They have captured the airport, which they have taken everybody by surprise because they have never expected that Indian army would reach Maldives through air. And we have sent our fighter ship INS Godavari by sea. So the situation was that they have captured their finance minister and home minister, but president escaped. And the island of Malé was under the siege of rebels. Our people landed on Honolulu, which is 11 nautical miles away from that island. We did land, air, and sea operation in foreign land and come victorious, where we caught the rebels, including their leader, and reinstated the president. So we had compliments coming from UN, US. Then US was never our friend. We were allied towards USSR. Even then, US has complimented the action, the swiftness of Indian Army and the defense forces as such. So this is where India has established their defense superiority in South Seas. So the lessons we can draw from here is given in the next slide. When you are going for a sale, we should always have our goal in mind. And salespeople have targets, have goals. That has to be always in the mind. And to reach there, it is very important to have a detailed roadmap. How are we going to achieve this goal? How are you staggering it on a timeline? How are you taking it step by step? How are you playing it as we planned? What are the alternatives we have up the sleeve in case there is a, some kind of surprise by your competitor or the changing of market dynamics, like COVID is one of them now. How the COVID has made people think, realign their market, realign their product. Alternatives have always to be thought of. Flexibility and presence of mind, which makes you win your sales in the mind itself. If you win a sale in the mind, I am sure customer will never leave you, or he will always be associated with you. So last, I am going to summarize, because I thought of these 5 principles. I am going to summarize the entire mindset of a sales warrior, how it should be. The mindset of a sales warrior. This is a book in itself, but I have taken the words from my own experience, not from the book. So the first and foremost thing that I would like to tell for a sales warrior is keep your focus. There are times when I see people getting into a weekend mode, getting into a party mode, getting into that, and all is good. You should balance your life, but you should never lose the focus. At the back of the mind, it should always be there. Like when we were in army, we used to say, if you are going for a war, eat war, sleep war, drink war. So if you are in sales, you have to eat sales, drink sales, and sleep sales. Build relationships. Why it is important? I mean, if you don't build relationships, the right information coming at right time will be delayed. If you are delaying your information, it is garbage. Information is of value when it is on time. If you build relations, the prospects, the market, the competitors, you will have the complete insights from the field. So relationship not with the customer but with any stakeholder that you can come across related to any product or the market is very important. Leadership. Why I say leadership? Because I understand that we are all in that age bracket, and either we are team leaders or we are managers or we might be VPs or something. Leadership means not you leading others, but you building leaders under you. So try to give that independence and freedom of work to your team so that they build their own style of leadership and be a supportive hand in their decision making. Build leaders in sales. So that will bring down a lot of pressure from you, and will be ready to take on. The moment we don't, handhold them, then the blame game starts everywhere. So build leaders and be leaders. Team building is what I'm talking about, is building leaders and loyal team. Your teammates have to be loyal to the team, to the organization. I think I covered it towards the end also as loyalty. You have to bring in accountability. My mindset as a, whether an operational person or from the army or in civil, every person in the team has a role to play. You have to clearly write down his charter of duties. What is he supposed to perform? And taking timely feedback will bring in accountability. If you are asking your team on a regular basis, boss, what have you done? What is your output today? How have you done it? Where have you gone wrong? Keep guiding them. Accountability will come in. They will start being accountable for themselves. Always think at the big picture. Strategic thinking is important. I have seen people trying to blame it on the product, trying to blame it on something else, the support staff and all. The moment this kind of thing starts coming in, then you don't have a strategy. Strategy is a big plan. The big plan is you have to always keep your entire team aware of the plan and execute it to the detail. That is what is strategic thinking. And loyalty I have already covered. So the last slide now, Prakash. So I always tell this to my team: the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. What do I mean by this? The more you train yourself, the more you keep yourself aware of what is happening around you, less awkward situation you will face when you are facing the customer. The moment you are comfortable when you are facing the customer, you will close the deal. The moment you are feeling little bit of pain or little bit of uncomfortable, that shows on our face without saying. And nobody is a fool these days. They just look at your face and say, yeah, boss, this fellow is uncomfortable. So always have that comfort. That only comes when you are trained so well in peace. So that means in your office, you are so well trained that you know your product, you know your customer. You have done enough work on knowing your customer, knowing yourself, knowing the environment. You build a plan for it. You have an alternate plan. You are first in the market, you are first to contact the customer, then you already have planned your sale in the mind, you have won the sale in the mind, and you go to field, I'm sure you will come out with flying colors. That's all I have to say, and I'm now ready to take on questions.
Thank you very much, Jairam. Thank you very much. It really gave goosebumps, the examples that you have given and the ones that you have shared. It has been a very engaging session, barring hiccups, but then I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure the other members in the team and other members who are there have thoroughly enjoyed this entire session as well. And it has been a very enriching and learning experience from my point of view. If I summarize the key takeaways from this entire session that we had today, A1, the most striking point. I will try to leverage the language that you have used. Striking point that I found in the entire discussion is you win the battle in your mind. Okay,
Yes.
and that has been the most outstanding statement because I have seen in my 14-15 years of sales career, I have seen a sales team losing the battle